multi-touch inputs without actually touching anything. Now, a lot of touch screens are 10-point inputs. In other words, you can use all your fingers on the screen. You put your 10 fingers on the screen and you can move different things around it. The early touch screens were just 1 or 2 touch. That's how you could zoom on the screen, the 2 touch. But a lot of touch screens now are coming with that 10-point touch, meaning that each finger can touch the screen and do something separate from the other. So Leap Motion now is taking that to the next level and saying that you don't even have to touch anything. Anything you can do with a touch screen, you can do with the Leap Motion. This also means that existing applications in Windows 7 and Windows 8 will respond naturally to your natural hand and finger movements. They said that it's what we've always envisioned for Leap Motion, to break down the barriers between people and technology. So the video that they came up with shows Leap Motion technology with the Windows operating system in a natural and easy way. You'll be able to navigate your desktop, browse the web, flip through photos, do everything you do every day with in extraordinary ways, is what they're saying. The Leap Motion system is geared to launch to the public in July 2013, and as more information comes out, obviously we're going to let you know when this thing is coming. And the Mac version for Leap Motion is currently being developed. But you know, here on Tech Pulse, we were talking about Leap Motion a long time ago. It's this small little thing, you know, this small little thing that generates a field right in front of your computer, and it allows your fingers, without touching keyboard, screen, anything, it allows your fingers to navigate your computer. So if you do this in the air, pages will swipe by, the Windows tile will swipe. If you do this, the web page will go up. You do this, you know, you will enlarge the screen. You do that, you shrink the screen. You know, any kind of movement that you could do on a touch screen, you can do with Leap Motion. And the Leap Motion App Store is also being launched in July, coming out with different apps for this device. So we're going to show you a picture of this here real quick. So for those of you that don't remember what the Leap Motion is, you will now know that this small device, and they also made, and it's a USB device, by the way, plugs into your computer via USB, and the Apple version to it is still being developed. They don't have the Apple version ready just yet, but the Windows version is ready to be released as of July, and the delay, they claim, was just to make sure that they had enough hardware to go around when this thing launched. Now that's the Leap Motion right there. What that person is holding up in their hand, that's the whole system. It comes with a USB cable that you connect to your computer. The software automatically downloads, and right away you have this feel that is generated in the front of your computer. And the Leap Motion, the company says that you can daisy chain as many of these together as you want. There wasn't any limit, so you can increase the range of the feel that the touch feel. You can increase the range of it, so you don't have to be just right in front of your computer. So if you have a desktop computer at home and you want to increase the range so where you can sit back comfortably and still, by daisy chaining maybe 3 or 4 of these together, you can increase that feel so that you can do your computing in the air without having to be near a keyboard of any kind. So I am just anxious to see how this thing works in a practical situation coming out in July. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Leap Motion, and this is just going to be a tremendous piece of technology that's coming out in such a small package in July. So we're gonna have to see how this thing does as it comes out later this year. And we here at Tech Pulse are definitely going to be on the cutting edge of that Leap Motion launch that's happening, you know, in just a little over a month, you know, coming up. Because right now, you know, with all the gaming news and stuff like that, we have our hands full. But I haven't forgotten about Leap Motion. Well, we're getting ready to take another break. And when we come back, summer is here. Summer is coming, and you know it can get hot. Sure, you can stay cool indoors with your air condition, but how would you like to have that same cool feeling walking out in the blazing sun? That's right there, a new Thanco USB neck cooler keeps you frosty cool during those hot summer days. You're going to see that right here on Tech Pulse. Also, Google Earth 7.1 Android app update, add Street View, and more. So don't turn that mouse, don't turn that dial. We are coming right back with all of that exciting news right here on Tech Pulse.
ShockwaveSound.com. Preview. ShockwaveSound.com. Preview.
And we are back just like that in the studio. We're talking about these new things happening in the tech world, and we're going to talk right now. We're talking right now about a Thanco USB neck cooler that keeps you frosty in the summer. I mean, how would you like to have that cool feeling? No matter how much the sun is beating down on you. Because, I mean, a lot of times, you know, you might have a car, no air conditioning, you know, you got to get from point A to point B in the blazing heat, and you're like, man, I wish they would come up with something that could help to keep me, you know, a little cooler in these hot summer months. Because it's one thing in the winter, you know, you can get warm, but in the summer, man, it's hard to get cool. Well, the Thanco USB neck cooler keeps you frosty on hot summer days. We're going to show you a picture of this thing. You know, in Japan, they always have these inventions that you don't hear about here in the States. Thanco makes some truly bizarre. That's the first thing you have to know about Thanco. They make some truly bizarre USB accessories that plug into the USB port of your notebook or laptop, you know, and stuff like that. But the company the company is well known for making all sorts of accessories that heat up to keep you warm during the winter. You know, they do that, but the company also makes an assortment of accessories designed to keep you cool. And one of those accessories is the company's new USB neck cooler. Now, the left and right sides that wrap around the front of your neck are covered with a heat-conducting metal that is used in conjunction with a pair of small internal fans. The metal is designed to pick up the heat from your neck and your body, and the fans slurp the heat out of the back of your neck of the device. Push the heat back on the back of your neck out of the device. This may sound like a very bizarre idea, but trust me, when you see this thing in action, if you live in a hot environment, you know, you'll be willing to try just about anything to get cool. And this thing here is kind of like what we have here in the studio. We have one of our the ATEM television studio, and it has a pretty big heat sink on it that gets rather hot. So Devin designed this fan attachment to it that sucks the heat from the heat sink and blows it away. So when you touch the heat sink now, this thing is just cool as the air around you. You don't feel any heat at all. That's kind of what this thing does. The metal senses the heat on your neck, and then the fans pull the heat away. The power for the device comes from a pair of included rechargeable AAA batteries that charge via the USB port of your computer. Now, Thanco, the company making this, claims that as long as the ambient air temperature outside is below your body temperature, The neck cooler will keep you feeling cool and more refreshed for up to 12 hours on a single charge. Now the caveat about the outside temperature having to be lower than your body temperature means that this isn't a device to take, in like Arizona where the temperature just gets hundreds of degrees, or Texas or something like that. But it's something that, if you're in a cooler climate, where the temperature maybe gets 85, 90 degrees and your body temperature is 98, then this thing will keep you cool. But guess what? The device is available for $20. That's it. So it's not like this thing is hundreds of dollars. The device is available for $20. So you go to Thanco's website and look for this product. You will pay only $20. Let me show you a picture of it. Now you might say this thing looks like some kind of prison collar and whatnot. But hey, if you're in one of those hot, and I'm talking hot areas where you're dying to get some coolant, or even if you want to use this thing around the house instead of burning up your AC all the time, all day, maybe you feel like, man, this thing just looks too geeky for me to wear out, or it looks like I got something wrong with my neck or something like that. Okay, don't wear it out. But at least you wear this thing around the house, around the yard, to keep you cool, so you can save money on that air conditioning bill. And guess what? At $20, this piece of technology right here is all you need. And that's what I'm saying. Coming out of Japan, Japan always has some of the best hidden technology. I'm talking underground stuff that we don't see here in the U.S. We don't see this stuff here in the U.S. That's the unit right there. Look at that. Okay, you might say, man, this thing looks, this looks like there's some kind of dog collar. But I'm telling you, when you in your house and you're trying to keep that AC down, and here's a picture of the person right over here wearing it around their neck and so forth. You put this thing, in your yard. Nobody has to see it, but you can stay crispy cool, and for $20, man, you can't beat that. You buy a bag of ice for $20, that thing is melted in 2 seconds. You get this thing can outlast the summer. And I see Devin looking at this right now saying, yes, this is what I need for around the house. Devin had to chop down a tree the other day, in the hot summer, cut that thing up. This thing right here would have kept you frosty cool. Well, I don't know about frosty, but it would have kept you cooler than you were. Because as long as your body temperature is less than the ambient temperature around you, so your body temperature is about 98 degrees or so. So if it's 85 outside, 90, this thing is going to make you feel cooler than you would, because it's pulling the heat away from you, just like the Atom Studio right there.
So we can actually shut off all the fans in here and give everybody one of those in the studio.
In the studio.
You just keep cool.
You just keep.
How much heat is
there you go. As long as it's not hotter than your body temperature, you're good to go. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I tell you, man, Japan comes out with the coolest technology, man. Anyone that's into tech, and this is real talk. Anyone that's into technology, Japan comes out with the coolest stuff, man, that never filters here in the U.S. Never comes down here because, people just not interested that way. But I'm always looking at Japan and what they have, because they always come up with some cool technology that we just don't think of. You know what I'm saying? While we're burning up our ACs, they're living cool, because Japan has a culture that bigger is not better for them. Most people, they have small apartments, small houses. They don't use a lot of AC and stuff like that. They use natural. And so they come up with these ways so they can exist alongside everyone else, because they have these small houses right there next to each other. So they have to find a way to exist peacefully. ACs can be loud, and ACs push out heat. You just don't feel it but if you ever stand in the back of an AC unit, you'll feel that hot air coming out. You see, and they can't have these things. So they buy these, not buy, but they invent these little things that help them to live sociably in close quarters, with one another. So, that's why I like looking at Japan and their technology, because, Japan always is one step ahead. Even their gaming market, arcades are